All right, thanks, folks. The polity updated. That's the conversation this morning on the arena, and of course, it would be absolutely fantastic to hear make the rounds yesterday about the fact that the Nigerian government is considering an upward review of a bit of background. The chairman of the Revenue Mobilization Allocation Fiscal Commission, Mohammed, made this known at a press briefing in Abuja on Monday. Now, Shehu Mohammed, or Mohammed Shehu, noted that President Bola Tinubu presently earns 1.5 million naira, more change since 2008, and the of federal agencies was unjustifiable, pointing out that some agency chiefs earn up to 20 times more than ministers or even the Attorney General of the Federation. Yeah. However, the move has stirred fresh controversy across the country, where workers are still demanding a living wage, with millions of Nigerians struggling under inflation and rising poverty. Now, observers believe the development has reopened debate about leadership, public trust, and the true cost of governance in Africa's largest democracy. Now, according to reports, although the minimum wage in Nigeria is currently had to stay home for months because primary school teachers were owed salaries, backlogs of salaries, and it took the intervention of the FCT minister to be able to quell that situation after the kids haven't stayed home for almost 3 months, if not more than 3 months, and the teachers going without pay for well over 3 months. And so what the picture looks like for a larger percentage of the Nigerian populace. Well, the National Bureau of Statistics reports noted that deprivation remains high in sanitation, healthcare access, food security, and housing. Now, poverty is also more severe in rural areas, where 72% of people are poor compared to 42% in the urban areas. In the same year, Nigeria's academic and non-academic unions embarked on an 8-month strike to demand better welfare and increased funding for universities. Now, yet, investigations showed that little has changed in the funding of tertiary institutions and the welfare of varsity workers since then. Don't forget, ASU is even still threatening strike as we speak, based on certain disagreements between ASU and the federal government. So there's a lot to consider when looking at the subject of conversation this morning. I mean, the fact that the government is considering an upward review of salaries for political holders, following concerns that their current earnings are inadequate. And then he says, how many Nigerians can even earn 500,000 naira? How many Nigerians earn up to 100,000 naira? And you're more concerned about the president. I mean, public service. He chose to serve, and the Nigerian people should naturally be the ones to determine. And then, according to Shehu, ministers receive less than 1 million naira, figures that have remained unchanged since 2008, and arguing that the disparity between political office holders and heads of federal agencies was unjustifiable, pointing out that some agency chiefs earn up to 20 times more than ministers or even the Attorney General of the Federation. Now, I may be wrong, but I think I should point out that some of these agency chiefs are technocrats. They're not politicians, even though some of them are political appointees. But if you check their portfolio, they're technocrats. And when you're dealing with technocrats, it's different as compared to because in the terms with regards to technocrats, you're more or less giving them. It's a contract, it's an employment. You're engaging them for a determined period of time, even though it's a political appointment. They didn't campaign to serve. You chose to bring them into the system with a view that they will bring their technical wherewithal to bear in those various agencies, ministries, MDAs, with a view to improving your return of investments of your economic policies. So that can be argued, right? That can be argued. So let's get down to the conversation. Already, reactions have continued to trail this decision by the federal government to upwardly review salaries of political holders. With the excuse that that their current earnings are inadequate and outdated. So let's look at some of the reactions. Don't forget, you can be part of the conversation right here on 96.1 FM. It's the arena. The arena is open to all engagement. The number to call is 0808-312-8618. So you tell me, is this a misplaced priority by this administration? Or at a time where Nigerians are dealing with inflation, as Tinubu's APC-led administration's current economic reforms, following the removal of subsidy, inflation is in almost quadruple digits, even though they keep telling us that inflation has come down, but it's not reflecting in the marketplace. The average Nigerian has been knocked further down the poverty line. Even the World Bank has suggested that the 70,000 naira minimum wage. But let's begin to look at some of the reactions following this development. Dr. Samson Simon, an economist, has faulted the proposal, insisting that political office holders were already among the best compensated in the country. He stressed that lawmakers in particular are already earning far above global averages. Right? Now, according to him, such disparities show that Nigeria is not setting its priorities right, adding that it only attracts people into politics for money rather than service. You know, I said this earlier. I said, President Tinubu and the likes, Godswill Akpabio and the rest, they told us they want to come and serve. So, we should determine what they get paid. They are public servants. So they shouldn't be the ones to determine how. If President Tinubu walks home with 1.5 million naira every month for the next 8 years, don't forget, as the president, he won't even touch that 1.5 million naira. Let's be honest, because everything he eats, whatever he needs, is provided for by taxpayers' money, state funds. He's flying across the world. All that is paid for. And that is why some school of thought have suggested that maybe we should, if we truly are practicing the presidential system, we should borrow from what happens in the United States, where as long as it is not a state assignment, anything extra, the man in the villa pays for it from his pocket. We've seen interviews where former U.S. President Barack Obama shared his experience in the White House, where he had to pay for dinners, he had to pay even for certain trips because it was not on state itinerary. So it's important that we understand where we are. Exactly, where as far as this development is concerned. Now, back to the economist, Dr. Simon. Now, according to him, such disparities show that Nigeria is not setting its priority right, adding that it only attracts people into politics for money rather than service. Now, the president of the Civil Rights Realization and Advancement Network, Olu Omotayo, described the proposal as deceptive. Omotayo added, while the masses are left to struggle. Now, these are the reactions of people with regards to this development, as far as the proposal by the Nigerian government to upwardly review salaries of political office holders following concerns that their current earnings are inadequate and outdated. So the phone lines are open. Let's get your reaction. What do you think about this proposal by the federal government to upward review salaries of political office holders following concerns that their current earnings are inadequate and outdated. Yeah, I mean, the move definitely has stirred fresh controversies across the country, where workers are still facing poverty. Of course, the development has reopened a debate about leadership, public trust, and the true cost of governance in Nigeria. Of course, there has been talks and suggestions of bringing down the cost of governance, but sadly, under the current administration, we seem to see that rather than make moves to plug the leakages and the holes, the current administration is more bent on extravagant expenses. Yes, extravagant expenses. So tell me, what do you think? What's the way forward under this conversation? I mean, we've heard from an economist, we've heard from a legal luminary. It's looking as if this administration has misplaced priorities. And I have continued to question this system that we say we run in the name of democracy. Because as far as I am concerned, democracy simply means the people come first. It's all about the people. But what we see here is that the people don't even matter. In most cases, the people don't even exist. The only time the people matter is when it is time to vote. Just to be able to justify the charade of elections that we have seen. I mean, just last Saturday, we saw by-elections, and almost everybody has asked, is it a by-election, BY, or is it a BUY election? Because we saw situations like in Kano, where vote buyers, people were buying votes from people, and this was the case in most parts of the country on Saturday. Despite that, the APC claimed 12 of the 16 states, and like it was said during the report, despite the current state of the nation, Nigerians facing severe hardship, the reflection at the polls suggests that Nigerians are still okay. The APC-led administration, and this brings up a big question mark in the build-up to 2027. Are Nigerians truly looking at the situation critically? Are Nigerians ready to truly take their fate and destiny into their own hands to try to change the trajectory, as it were? You know, it's not about the individuals, it's not about the political party, but it is more about the lives and the future of our great nation, Nigeria. So, what do you think political office holders, with the excuse that their current earnings are inadequate and outdated? Don't forget, the minimum wage is 70,000 naira, and not all workers across board have even had access to the 70,000 naira minimum wage. Most states have not even paid the 70,000 naira minimum wage. Even as we speak, there are union bodies in various states still pressuring for the state governments to honor the agreed 70,000 naira minimum wage. But shortly, I'll bring you a report by the World Bank with regards to the 70,000 naira minimum wage. It's the Arena on 96.1 FM.
Good morning. Rise and shine. This is the morning light. We have brought an action-packed day with headlines, sports, business, great conversation. Start your day right with DOP's morning light. Weekdays from 5 a.m. Good morning. Good morning. battle for ideas has begun. Get ready to enter the arena. Join the conversation on the most controversial and thought-provoking current affairs radio talk show in Abuja.
Luckily for me, I'm their city minister now. So here's my territory. I challenge that newspaper if you are very, very popular. 2027, come and run on Abuja. We will fail you.
Every weekday from 8 to 9 a.m. on Voice of the People, 96.1 FM Abuja. The arena brings you the latest news, analysis, and debate on the issues that matter the most.
Yeah, because even if you're going to prosecute in court, you will need this house arrested.
Engage with expert guests, opinion leaders, and your call. Join the discussion on politics, the economy, social justice, and more. Don't just listen, participate, call in, share your thoughts on topics that shape our world. The arena, where ideas collide and the truth is revealed. Tune in weekdays 8 to 9 a.m. only on Voice of the People, 96.1 FM Abuja.
All right, it's still the arena right here on 96.1 FM, the voice of the people. The show is live and interactive. The phone lines are open for your contribution as we look at the proposal by the Nigerian government to upwardly review salaries of political office holders following concerns that their current earnings are inadequate and outdated. Now, according to the chairman of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, Mohammed Shehu, he said that the likes of President Bola Tinubu currently earn about 1.5 million naira monthly, while ministers receive less than 1 million naira, figures that have remained unchanged since 2008. He further argued that the disparity between political office holders and heads of federal agencies was unjustifiable, pointing out that some agency chiefs earn up to 20 times more than ministers and or even the Attorney General of the Federation. However, the move has now, although the minimum wage in Nigeria is currently pegged at 70,000 naira per month as approved by the federal government, some state governments, not all states, have implemented this 70,000 naira minimum wage. In 2022, the National Bureau of Statistics revealed that over 133 million Nigerians live in poverty, representing 63% of the nation's population. The NBS report noted that deprivation remains high in sanitation, healthcare access, food security, housing. Poverty is also more severe in rural areas where 72% of people are poor compared to 42% in urban centers. In the same year of 2022, Nigeria's academic and non-academic staff union embarked on an 8-month strike to demand better welfare and increased funding for universities. Yet, investigations show that little has changed in the funding of tertiary institutions and the welfare of varsity workers since 2002. Now, I did say I was going to bring you it. A U.S. report on Nigeria has revealed that the recent new minimum wage of 70,000 naira, which is about 47.9 US dollars, not even up to $50. Yeah, less than $100, less than $50. It's just about 74.9 US dollars. Approved by the federal government for federal workers has been eroded by the devaluation of the naira, which has risen to over 1,500 naira to a dollar. Yes, 1,500 naira to the dollar. Of course, in the last couple of days, we've seen situations where the naira, the value of the naira even dropped further. Now, in the latest country reports on human rights practice for 2024 by the United States Department of State, Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights and Labor, the U.S. noted that upon that, firms with less than 25 workers did not benefit from the new minimum wage. It was quoted as saying, and I quote, "The law provided for a national minimum wage for public and private sector employers with 25 or more full-time employees, with exceptions for seasonal agricultural workers, part-time workers, those on commission, and some others. The National Minimum Wage Amendment Act 2024 doubled the minimum wage to 70,000 naira. That's about $47 $47, right? Yeah, per month. Now, despite the increase, current devaluation, it stated that some states have declined to implement the minimum wage, right? Citing financial constraints, with the law mandating a 40 as they relate to marriage. The U.S. report noted that while 18 years remain the age of consent, several states in the country routinely flout this law, with children getting married at ages as low as 11 years of age. Now, federal law sets a minimum age of 18 for marriage. Adopted the law. Many states, especially northern states in Nigeria, did not uphold the federal minimum age. In some states, as SARS Akuzu, and provided for the right of any person to challenge the unlawfulness of their arrest or detention in court, the government sometimes did not observe in the year. Now, it also flagged lengthy pre-trial detention as a serious problem, pointing out that detainees often waited years to gain access to delay. So these are the issues, but most importantly, as far as this report is concerned, is the $57 equivalent as approved salaries for political holders, with the excuse that they are current. How do we justify this? You tell me. I mean, the studio line. How do we justify this? You tell me. I mean, the studio line is open. 0808 312-8618. How do we navigate all of this? I mean, under the current circumstances, the same political office holders are the ones who have decided to toe the route. You know, they fare far better than the same political office holders are the ones who have decided to toe the route. You know, they fare far better than they, because they they fare far better than they as political office holders enjoy several perks of their offices, benefits that the average Nigerian do not enjoy. I mean, I think of their offices, benefits that the average Nigerian do not enjoy. I mean, I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday, I was having a conversation about Japan. I need to look for that soundbite and play it for you. In Japan, the leaders are the ones that take responsibility in the name of economic reform, removal of subsidy, and the likes. So why is it that African leaders, Nigerian leaders, don't want to bear the people that have to be the ones to bear the brunt? Why is it that it is the people that have to, while they enjoy the perks of office and soundbite, just to be able to prove my point as to what is happening in Japan. I know 2 days may not be enough for Mr. President to truly appreciate the orientation in Japan, but I want to believe that there are a few things that he can take home with him, and that might help that might help him to trajectory of the economy, no doubt. But even